Hey guys, Mars Thinking here, bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and today we are going to look at the new awakening for the World Tournament AGL base form Vegito. Taking a bit of a break from grinding the World Tournament because, as we all know, it sucks. And since this guy just got his awakening, I wanted to put a video out on him before the weekend is over and all the new Freezer stuff comes out. So one thing I wanted to quickly look at is we're going to go back and look at his old version, just so you can see how terrible he was before now. So supreme damage raises all allies attack by 20% when he supers, and then his passive was defense 100% as the first attacker in the turn, superclass allies attack 30%. Now the reason why this is awful, for those of you who are not aware of this at this point, any passives that say as the first attacker in the turn do not trigger until that unit attacks as the first attacker in slot 1, which means any attacks that come before his one in slot 1 come before this passive is activated, which means he has no defense. So he's a unit that was designed to be put in the first slot but who had no defense. So I mean, I'm sure I can speak for a lot of you here will say the same thing, but like, I never ever used this guy. He's awful. And so now we finally have an awakening for him, and they fixed a few of his issues here. So the raises allies attack is a little bit higher, which is cool. But yeah, he now gets an unconditional attack and defense 120%. So he just has that at the start of the turn. 120% is a perfectly solid number. Like, we see that on summonable units. And then he gets Ki +2 plus an additional attack and defense 120% and great chance of evading enemies' attacks as the first attacker in a turn. So now, when you put him in slot 1, yes, if there are attacks before he gets his turn, he doesn't get any extra boost, but he still gets 120% defense, which is fine. And then, once he attacks, he gets 2 Ki and an additional 120% defense and a 70% chance to dodge. So that's actually really good. So the only time that he can be a liability then is when, let's say for example, Super Battle Road is a prime example, when there's a lot of attacks in slot 1. And now he also provides superclass allies with attack and defense. So even if you wanted to use him as just a support unit, where you're really only going to get that last part of his passive, he still has the unconditional 120%, which is good. And then yeah, he has pretty standard links for a Vegito base form. I haven't obviously leveled him up at all because, like I say, I literally never used him before today. Now this is his biggest problem though, and where I think this unit becomes the most niche is his categories. So you can see here, pretty standard for a Vegito, but as I'm sure a lot of you are probably thinking, if we can get it up quite quickly, is look who else is on all of these categories that he is on, or at least most of them. There's another base form Vegito who is pretty good, you could say. But there is one particular team, the Majin Buu Saga. Oh look, no Tech LR Vegito, because of course he is from the Future Trunks Saga. So here we are on the Majin Buu Saga team. This is basically the only place you would ever run this guy, I imagine. Now, obviously, on Potara Battle of Wits or Final Trump Card, you could, like I say, bring him as a support unit, but I can't imagine many scenarios where someone who has the LR is going to bring this guy instead. So this is probably the only team that he's actually going to be good on. So we'll go ahead and see what he can do here. Turn 1, he links up okay with the Goku and Vegeta, and then, of course, this Saiyaman does provide super class Majin Buu Saga allies with some support as well. So he's obviously not going to get his secondary part of his passive to activate because he hadn't attacked yet, but he still takes double digits, and then 1.4 million is pretty good. Obviously that is him attacking as the first attacker, so he's getting that extra 120%. If you want to put him in the third slot more as a support unit, he's obviously not going to be hitting numbers like that. So let's see, obviously we want to get a couple of turns in and see how that affects his performance. We will go ahead and float off High School Gohan, because obviously he is a fantastic support unit. For the other rotation, I decided just to bring the physical Vegeta, just because he is one of my favourite cards. Those of you guys who haven't checked out the for 5-9 Gaming, we put out a video on the last day of 2020 where a bunch of us talked about our favourite LRs, Dokkan Fest exclusives, and Easy A's that were released during 2020. And I did pick that LR Vegeta as my favourite LR. I know he's not the best LR in the game, but I think he's really cool. I think the partner super attack is cool. So yeah, I thought I might as well throw him in here since we need something to run on the other rotation. Mine is only 55%, and you see, like, he still hits over 4 million attack stats. So he is the LR that is top of my list that I want to pull dupes for. So even though I pulled a ton of LRs on the Tech Gohan banner, I didn't pull any extra copies of him. So he is like my #1 yellow coin unit. But here we go. So we get, funnily enough, he doesn't actually link up with the AGL Vegito better than he does with them, which is kind of surprising. I guess one of the biggest problems for him is that he's not a Super Saiyan, so obviously he doesn't fit into certain like rotations that you would expect with other Vegitos. So the cool thing is we can go ahead and just grab these 2 orbs here, because he does give himself Ki in his passive as the first attacker. So this is where we're now going to get to see him with his full passive active. So he still super attacks. No support unit on the rotation, still got a 1.3 million attack stat. Obviously no crit, unfortunately, means no damage, really, because we've got type disadvantage. But the passive is active, so 70% chance to dodge. 2 out of 3, and then we still took double-digit damage, so that is actually really strong. Anyone who noticed at the start, I didn't talk about the hidden potential build that I gave him. I did still give him 3 dodge. Because, like I say, you can still use him as a 3rd slot support unit, and if you're running him in the 3rd slot, he isn't going to be getting that 70% chance to dodge. So obviously it makes sense to, for me at least, because I give most of my units dodge in some capacity, it makes sense to give him at least some ability to dodge. Now normally support units who are not particularly good at taking hits, I would give them quite a lot of dodge. But like I said, like this guy, I feel you're probably only going to really use him on the Majin Buu Saga team. And so you kind of, it's a tricky one because obviously Goku and Vegeta are so good. So here we are on this, setup that we're running so far. We are running them on rotation and just putting them in slot 2. But he's not the best link partner for them. He is giving them support. He's raising their attack because he's super attacking first, which is good. So it's a perfectly usable rotation. Obviously, he technically is a free-to-play unit, but it kind of depends on your luck with the World Tournament SSR banner. Unless you're somebody who, like I was playing it when he was the World Tournament reward, so obviously I got all the copies I needed to open his paths, and because he is a base form Vegito, he does have a farmable super attack. So he's got 100k defense. So obviously when he super attack, or technically he doesn't need to super attack, but when he attacks in the 1st slot, he gets that extra 120%. So he goes up to like 220k defense, which is pretty good. Obviously in this particular turn, this is another setup where he's not actually getting his full passive because the only attack he's receiving is in the 1st slot. And obviously that is something that is going to come up quite a lot, but I mean, we haven't seen really any turn where he's taken a hit and taken more than double-digit damage. And there's the crit coming in and the additional, pretty good. I gave him full crit, so I think he's got like 8 additional and 3 dodge. So that's a pretty decent showing from him. I don't know if I would recommend skill orbs. It kind of comes down to how you feel like you're going to use him, because as I've said, and I'll say it again, you could bring him on some of the other categories that he's on as a support unit, and then he's only going to be in slot 3. So in those instances, you're obviously going to be maybe better off giving his build like more dodge. I always forget that Dabura locks you in place. I literally only picked this stage because it's Majin Buu Saga, so I thought I'd pick the fighting the Barbady's army stage, but we'll go ahead and do this. We raise defense on Super with Vegeta, so he should be okay to tank hits in the final slot here. Obviously, AGL Super Vegito also raises allies' attack on Super. I did only bring a 55% friend Goku and Vegeta because I didn't want them to go crazy and just dominate the showcase. But here they are getting their built-in additional, which is nice. My Goku and Vegeta is only 55% as well. I am very much in the mode of saving all my red coins for once they and the Boo come back, so I can pick up extra copies of them, because I only got one copy of each during the worldwide celebration, and would quite like to have dupes in them since they are so good. So of course he super attacks. Should have expected that, really, considering he locked Vegeta in front of all of those attacks. And then, yeah, he locks Vegito in the middle, which is... I mean, I'm not even surprised here. So, actually, let's go ahead and transform, get ourselves a heal. So good. And some of these animations nowadays, man. Right, so we can't move you, which is annoying. How much defense does he have? 136. This STR Saiyan, man, he's so good. I might have to like get him to level 10 links and do a video for him, because he's really, really good. But yeah, let's see how we do. So we're not going to be in the first slot, so we're obviously not getting our full passive. So let's see how he does here. He still breaks over 1 million attack stat, I believe. Obviously, Saiyaman giving him some support. Yeah, 1.12, which is not bad. So that's the kind of attack stat you can expect from him if he's in slot 3, if you're just using him as a floating support unit. So honestly, I would say that's pretty good. But let me know what you guys think. Like I said, I do feel like this is the only team where you're going to use him. I honestly can't imagine any situations where I would want to run him over the Tech LR. But then I guess it does give you that option, right? Like on Potara, Battle of Wits, if you want to run specific rotations, like say you want to run this Goku and Vegeta, the STR one, with the Int 3-year LR, and then for the other rotation, say we're talking Potara, you want to run the physical Vegito Blue and physical Super Saiyan 4 Vegito, because I really, really like that rotation personally. Then yeah, you need to run supports in slot 3. I mean, you don't need to, but you can run supports in slot 3 to float around. You could still run the Tech LR, because in slot 3 he has that built-in chance to dodge, but obviously he's not providing any support to the rotation, so that would be one of the perfect opportunities to bring this AGL Vegito, and he's still going to be providing that support. 30% is still a very solid support to give to the team, but obviously the way his kit is designed, you want to be using him in slot 1. So I think we've seen in this showcase that he does pretty well in slot 1. Obviously, Rainbowed only level 1 links, so at full level 10 links, he's going to be getting a bunch of extra attack and defense, which is just going to make him even better. I feel like once you've got him fully maxed, like he would be pretty good in Super Battle Road as well. So maybe that's something we could look at in the future. Let me know down below if you're interested. Problem is, of course, there's so many units that I want to be link leveling that he's probably not top of my list of priorities at the moment. So let's go ahead and see here. So we're going to get Ki when we attack, so that's fine. We're going to get super attacked. So we are going to take a lot of damage in slot 1, because obviously we don't get that dodge chance until he attacks. So how much are we actually going to take here? I would imagine it's still quite a lot. Yeah, 260. And then 17k from the normal attack. So then we get our super attack off. That gives us the huge attack and defensive buff. And then boom, there's the 70% dodge or double-digit damage. So once his passive's actually activated, any attacks that come after that, like, he's still really, really solid. But yeah, obviously if this was Super Battle Road, we could have very easily died in that first slot there. So let me know what you guys think of the AGL base form Vegito. I'm getting attacked in slot 1 again, so I guess we might as well heal. I don't want to die as like the final part of the video. And yeah, let me know what you think of this guy. Have you actually gotten copies of him? Maybe you started after he was the World Tournament reward, so you've had to try your luck on the actual ticket banner for the World Tournament units. But yeah, let me know what you think of this base form Vegito. Would you run him on your teams? So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Master Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the link to my Discord in the description. Feel free to join in the fun over there. And I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.